Link FM, linking people to Jesus.
And a very good morning to our friends from Aesthete. I've got Tanita and Taryn with me this morning.
Good morning, Karen and Link FM.
Taryn, I missed your moment on Friday.
Oh my giddy aunt.
Tell us about getting into that Cobra race car.
So you all know me. Well, those that know me, I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's whether since having Harper that my adrenaline kick's gone way down, but I was scared. But it was a good scared. It was amazing. It was a dream come true, to be honest. I've always wanted to do that.
So you got into the race car. It's a Cobra or something or other. I don't know anything about cars. And then you went around. So there was a race driver that took you around.
Three rounds, 3 hot laps.
What speed were you going at?
I think the most was 210 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, and going
an hour. I'm not going to lie, but I closed my eyes around one of the corners because it was
going that speed around the corner
very
on East London racetrack is not a joke.
No, it's real.
It's known
and
for
you know
speed.
the footage that I took does not do justice. You know, it's faster than it looks.
I went around in one of the V8s in the previous time.
Yes.
I wish I could have come this time, man down with flu. Send my daughter Rachel instead, and she WhatsApped me from the track after. She says, "I love it. I want to go again." I'm like, "Oh my God."
You've started something.
Okay, fantastic. So we had some fun. You guys were doing some footage there. But what are we talking about today?
The customer journey and how we can improve your customer's journey.
Okay. All right. So tell us, what do we do?
Okay, so if we look at what the customer journey is, it's the path a person takes from when they first introduce to your brand, they first see your logo or your social media page, to when they become a customer and hopefully a loyal one.
Okay.
And if we had to break that down into a few stages, you're looking at one, your awareness stage.
Okay.
So that's when they first hear about you. 2, your consideration stage, and that's when most of the times they're comparing you to your competitors. And then your conversion stage, which is your most critical stage. This is when someone's taking action, like purchasing. What's important is that the journey isn't always linear anymore. In today's day and age, there's so many people out there doing the same services and the same products. You know, people jump between platforms, do research, leave, come back. So your marketing needs to support them at all 3 of those stages, not just at the first one.
And it's very different as well, because before people used to say it doesn't matter if you got the best price, people are going to be loyal. But we're also in a market today where people aren't necessarily loyal. They're going to go with the best price because that's just what everybody's back pocket is telling them.
Value needs to be.
So that awareness is so important. So why do you think it is that businesses are struggling nowadays to turn that awareness, to convert it into sales?
Because, Karen, they stop at awareness. You know, getting clicks, impressions or followers feels like progress, you know, but it's only the first step. You know, the biggest gap is usually what happens next. For example, you know, there's no clear message after the first interaction. The website doesn't guide the user correctly, and there's no follow-up strategy like email or retargeting. So people become aware of you and then they forget about you. You know, conversion requires intentional nurturing, not just visibility.
So that awareness can't be that once-off thing, because they might not need you in that moment. So you need to find a way to make that moment last. So there's
impactful.
That top-of-mind awareness is always there. Okay, so what should they be doing then? What should they be doing at that next step of the journey? You know, or at each stage? What, you know, you say they stop. So what's the next step?
So the biggest thing you need to do is actually tailor your marketing to each of those stages, okay? Not a one-size-fits-all. At the awareness stage, you need to focus on visibility and value. This is when your social media content comes into place, your educational posts, your ads to introduce your brand, your Google search engine ads. You know, when people are actually out there searching for something, your name needs to come up, your product needs to come up. So that's your awareness stage. Then you need to look at your consideration stage, and that's about trust. So we've spoken about it before on MarketingMatters, that reviews are actually such a handy part in this, because if people don't know who you are, we're in the age where, you know, I don't know if this business is legit, let me take a look at them, sort of thing. And that's good, especially if you've got high value items like furniture items and things like that. People are going to go take a look at your reviews. And it's not to say it's just reviews. If you've got befores and afters as a service provider, somebody that builds kitchens and stuff like that, it's so great to have that content on your website and on your social media. It builds credibility. And then it's also your educational posts that also help in these stages, okay? And the most important stage, your conversion stage, okay? And what you need to do here is remove the friction. You need to have easy checkouts and inquiry processes. You need to have clear pricing and offers and a strong call to action. So if I had to just give you like a bit of an example of this, we dealt with this with one of our clients that came to us quite recently, where they were pushing a lot of Facebook adverts, but what they were pushing is their call to action was to contact us, to call us. Okay, so you're getting a lot of people in on your WhatsApp, and if you're not instant on this, you're losing that traction. And if you're pushing a product or a service, that call to action can go directly to your website, to a form to fill in for your services, for that quotation, or to directly purchase that product. And you're going to lose that traffic if that conversion section of your marketing is not speaking with your awareness section.
Yeah. And it's not about losing, because losing traffic, not getting some, you see, a lot of people, I think, focus on the end of the journey before they focus on the beginning of the journey. That awareness is so important, and you can't skip the steps. I'll give you an example. I'm at the moment in the market for, I want to get my eyebrows done. Like I'm blonde, naturally blonde. I have these sparkle. I grew up in the 90s, overplucked my eyebrows. Like, I want to get my eyebrows done. Like, you know? And I went on, because if you're not online, you don't exist, in my opinion, because this is where I'm going to go and find you. And I went online. Do you know how difficult it was just to find out who does eyebrows in East London? Then second of all, nobody's got reviews anywhere. I'm not going to go and book something that's going to go on my face if I can't see reviews. If I can't see reviews. So like, people should be asking their customers to put reviews, and you can do it on social media, you can do it on your Google. Very important. Ask your customers to review you.
100%.
And then I couldn't get like prices. I don't want to pick up the phone until I kind of know. I want to know kind of beforehand. That's just the way the market works nowadays. Why are you not putting your prices out there? Put your price. You know what I mean? I get it.
Absolutely.
So it's that whole process, exactly what you're talking about there. But now tell me, in that process, or with that in mind, how important the consistency is.
Karen, it's critical. Imagine seeing a professional ad, then clicking through to a confusing website or a social page that looks inactive, like you were saying.
Yes.
That breaks trust instantly. You know, your messaging, your tone and visual should feel connected across your website, your social media, ads, emails. You know, consistency reassures customers that they're in the right place and that your business is credible. There's so many scams going on. You know, so if you don't have your domain out there, people can go to your Facebook, copy your logo, and make their own thing. And then they sit and wait for those competitions on Facebook, and they put a little comment there, and you click on the wrong ad, and they, Bob's your uncle, you've been scammed.
Absolutely.
So, it's very critical.
And I mean, again, what you said about consistency and going to a dead space. I'll go, like, we go onto, East London Girls. Everything happens there. Go onto East London Girls. I'm like, I don't know the difference between, I learned a lot yesterday between microblading and nano this and powder brows. And like, I don't even know what's going on. Anyway, I need some education. But then I see these recommendations that people have put down, which is great. Okay. A lot of the times, though, this is why the reviews are so important, is people are just recommending their friends.
100%.
It's not necessarily someone they've used personally. That's why the reviews are important. But you go onto those people that are being recommended, and the one lady, for instance, her last post was in December, and I'm thinking, I know everyone's busy, but this is important.
Absolutely.
This is important. So let's go on to some tips then. Maybe just one practical tip. What can people be doing to improve those conversions? Because my eyebrows is one example. People are looking for all sorts of things every day, whether it's air conditioners for their cars, whether it's like water tanks, people are looking for stuff all the time.
100%. What you need to actually do is you need to nitpick your process. You need to audit your process and see where your bottlenecks are. How easy is it to understand what you're offering is one of the first questions. How many steps does it take to action? And where are the points where people drop off? And if we had to just look at a case study on this, on understanding what you offer, like you're talking about the microblading and all the other services that can be offered for beauty salons, okay? Putting your advert out there going, we do eyebrows, really doesn't help. You need to be specific in what you're offering, where you're offering it from. And a lot of people aren't specific in this and lose traction from this. And how many steps does it take to action, okay? For someone to book you for your service? Is it now a long process? Do we need to call and wait for you to be available between your bookings to take the booking on? Or do you have a simple booking process that's easy to click on and easy to use? And just a little tip on the whole salon side of things, if we stick to this one, something I've seen a lot with salons is they use external booking systems, okay? And people leave their reviews on these booking systems, and there's no lead back. You need to talk to your marketing company to get the reviews that are sitting on your booking system all the way over there on your website, or better yet, do your bookings via your own website and collect your reviews yourself, because then you can tailor the content that people are putting in for these reviews, and you can even match it up to your befores and afters, you know. And that's also where we're talking about the credibility, like you're saying, you go to pages and they're just dead. Having somebody come in and you say, would you be okay with me taking a photo first and a photo afterwards? A lot of people are fine with that. And you know, and that's going to add so much to your social media and so much to your credibility as a business. And then last off, you need to track your drop-off points, okay? If you've got like a buy now advert for a product online, okay, and your social media ads or your Google ads are pushing for a sale, they're pushing for that buy now button to be hit, and people are linking through to your homepage, we can see that traffic going to your homepage and they're dropping off, they're not converting to sales, there's something wrong. Okay, so you need to track these things. You'll almost always find friction points at some point in your sales funnel, whether it's slow load times, unclear messaging, or too many steps. And something else we see a lot of people come to us and they want to do online shopping. They want an e-commerce store, but they don't want to make that initial once-off payment. You know what I mean? It is a little pricier than a normal website. We all know this. There's payment gateways. There's a lot of security going on. And it's a once-off thing and it's an investment, okay? But a lot of times people want to avoid that. And they go, no, I've only got 10 products. Let's do a form. And what this is going to do is this is going to create ping pong between you and your client, where now the client's filling in this form on your website, waiting for a response from you, waiting for an invoice from you. There's so much back and forth and so much time for you to lose that client. So put the right tools there. Having that instant payment gateway for a booking if you're a service provider, or for a query form for you to get the information to quote. Those sorts of things are really going to make that whole process so much more seamless for your clients and so much more pleasant for your clients.
I wish there was a tool that you could use to measure how much you're losing in sales by not having the right tools in place. Because that could actually be more expensive than just paying for that gateway or whatever in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another example, somebody had a lovely setup. Her Facebook was clear, the pictures were there were some reviews, there were people that had recommended her on East London Girls, and all the things look great. You can connect straight to WhatsApp message. It takes 2 days to respond. In the meantime, I've booked somewhere else. For instance, you know. So you need to be aware of where your bottleneck is, like you say, and then you can't go and say, oh, but those things that are, you know, the effort that I put into social media, or the money that I put into social media, or the radio advert or whatever is not working. When the inquiry is coming in, but you're not responding to it quick enough. So I think you need to be real with yourself as well about where the actual blockages are.
Yes, and you know what? A lot of business owners, the communication is the problem, because we're trying to be all of it. You're trying to be your admin person. You're trying to be your maintenance guy. Your everything. And it's not to say that you're not meeting the requirements. You just need to admit when help's needed and notice those sore points, so that the right tools can be put into place, so that you no longer have those issues.
Thank you, ladies. I think that's very informative.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Hopefully some people will go and correct those things now, or even just like hit me up with some eyebrow places. Need to get the, what do they call it? Brows on fleek. What's that?
Brows on fleek.
My daughter's cringing under somewhere. She's listening to this. Anyway, have a good one, ladies.
Thank you. And you so much.
Bye.
Marketing Matters was brought to you by Aesthete Creative Agencies.